camera. I got a new MacBook. I have so much financial stress. I need a new MacBook, but I actually did need a new MacBook, and Emily can attest to it. And that was something that I actually did need, and it was like school related, and I needed it like then. So
Her
I
old
did not just get a
MacBook,
new.
crazy. I'm surprised that thing was alive. It was giving the old worm grandma from SpongeBob.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's bad.
And I like refused to accept that it was bad because I knew like a new laptop was gonna be very expensive. But then it got to a point where I was like, yo, I can't do my work on this. So I had to pull the trigger. But with this new laptop, there is a beauty filter on me. I feel like there is. My skin looks so smooth.
Oh, I think you said it
I don't
came.
know if there is.
Me, what?
Know if there is, but like I feel like there is. Like hold on. Yeah. Oh, I can do different lightings. Wait, where's my?
Wow.
Whoa, wait. Happy Pride Month, everyone. We're not DEI haters in this world. Wait.
It's
Wait,
Pride Month every month.
It is Pride Month every month. Hold on, I have a perfect photo.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready. I didn't even know you could do this. Wow. That's crazy they had that.
Dude, I know. Wait, I want to play with it one more, guys.
We're having a great time.
This is great. I'm like, what should it be, guys?
I don't know. Shock me. Surprise me. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to LOL.
Hold on, let me find. Oh.
She's looking. That was a great cosplay. I'm so glad I got you to do that for MomoCon.
Wait, I have one more. Let me do one more.
One more before the intro.
This is the best one. Evil kitty.
Ew. Oh my gosh, he looks like an alien. Ew.
Evil kitty.
Is that Kenma?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Evil
I don't
kitty.
want to take this background off. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, back to Beppo on the wall. Thank God.
Back to Beppo on the wall. Okay.
But yeah.
I'm ready.
Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Are We Nerds podcast with your favorite hosts, Emily and
Emily.
If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, it's been a while, but we're back. And, you know, I'm actually really looking forward to this episode. Did I just put the outline notes together today? Yeah. But
I'm looking forward to just getting back on our normal cycle. Apologies for those who regularly listen to us or watch us. For those who are new here, and this will make more sense when we start talking about this actual episode, like content. Yeah. We're both in Emily's in grad school for one more month when she's done defending her thesis.
And I'll go into that because people would be like, but didn't you just post graduation pictures? I'll explain in a second, but
yeah. But I have one more year of grad school left, and I also I just put a lot of shit on my plate. It's shit that like one adds meaning and value to what?
You're Alexander Hamilton.
Misha, stop it. Oh my god. There's a pot here on my coffee table, and I just caught Misha digging in it.
Oh my god. Misha.
He's looking at me like the fuck. Anyway, why am I Alexander Hamilton?
Because he was like constantly working. You're that song where it's like, oh my god.
Nonstop.
You're literally nonstop. Like, you are that song. You are Alexander Hamilton.
Now, there's like different aspects of it. I was talking to my friend about this earlier, and she was like, yeah, like, because I was asking like multiple people for advice on if I should do one thing, because I wasn't sure. And It was interesting because she's also white. There's Kuro. So it's interesting seeing like the reaction to her response versus like your response on what you told me.
Were they
Because you were
different?
talking. Yeah, I mean, she was like, you can do it. Like, I know you can do it. There's no, but like, if you feel like it is too much, then like, take it off of your plate. I don't think you need it. You're already accomplished enough. But then you were like, you need it for social capital. And I was like, that's literally so true because I am not only a female in this field, I'm also a Latina woman in this field. And I feel like a lot of people are like, why do you like try to do so much? One, it's because I care. And I do recognize I can't do everything. And I have said no to things.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, everything I have on my plate, I know I can handle. It just gets a little chaotic sometimes. But it's like, I have to do so much to make myself, like, viable and a good candidate for things because there are just some preconceived notions people have about, I mean, guys, y'all ever take a sociology class? Y'all can look into it. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's just so many things that I have to do that, like, women already have to go above and beyond. So try being like a woman of, not try being, don't try doing that. Like being a woman who is not white or like a full like white American, you gotta do a lot of shit. Or at least I feel like I have to do a lot of shit.
I believe, because I know that you've gone through other like harder situations of like a lot of stuff on your plate. Obviously that wasn't healthy, but you got through it. So I think you are better with time management. And I think the job that you have right now, even though it's like difficult in a sense, but like it's kind of more like time lenient in a way of like as long as you get your stuff done and then you have that on top of your plate and it's not during your fall semester, like both of these things, like I know that you're able to do it. And you get the financial gain from it and the social capital from it. But like the system is evil. So you got to do what you have to do to play the game. So
I know. And I was like, I don't think, like, it's not that I don't think she understands that side of it. I definitely, well, I just don't think it's at top of mind for certain people because they haven't been around certain communities for a while. And, you know, you can read this literature saying like, oh, these people are discriminated against. But then once you like live it, it's like, oh shit, no, they actually like really are. They do have to do like, so I know that like, that's probably not what you were thinking immediately, but I feel like it's always like in your head when you're giving me advice for certain things. So it's interesting to see because this is another person who is very progressive, great, like love them to death. But have not grown up with people who are minorities or have been friends with people who are minorities for a long time. Not to the fault of their own. I mean, they grew up in a like super white town. So it's just interesting how different people think different ways, but believe a lot of the same things.
crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. Anyway, that was just a random rant, but I'm excited to get onto it. And it's good since you're graduated now, or will be, it'll be easier for us to plan episodes because not both of us are dying at the same time.
Yeah. So for me, I walked in May because I wasn't gonna wait like 6 months to walk in December. No, I wasn't gonna do that. So I had the opportunity to like kind of go into the summer for my thesis without paying for like the summer credit. But then since they're tearing down my building, like where my department is, they were like, hey, half assistantships for like the month of June. You get to like do like a summer credit and you don't have to pay for it except like the fees, which is like $37 or something. And like we're paying you. And I was like, nice. So yeah, I'm going to extend it into the summer because I need that money. So that's what I'm doing.
And that's on what?
And that's on what? Capitalism.
Literally, unfortunately.
So that's what I'm doing. But other than that, yeah. Thesis is going
Job
great.
routine.
I just gotta write it and finish it and present it.
But then it would be good because we have like we'll have a more consistent schedule. Fall semester is gonna be most likely a more consistent schedule. Definitely not the hiatus that we have been taking now or the breaks that we've been taking now, because it's been like 2 months, which is not great. But like the month of April for both of us
I don't
was
even remember what
hellish.
happened.
I literally don't remember what happened in the month of April. I did not sleep. I was sleeping maybe 3 hours a night, 5 hours max. I was and it's not because I was just mind you, I do have insomnia. It wasn't just because I couldn't fall asleep. It's like I literally couldn't fall asleep because I had so much shit to do, and it wasn't because of my time management was bad. It was just they were all big things due at the same time that required a lot of my attention. So it was the month of April was so rough. The month of April was so rough. And I know this fall I'm taking my two most intensive classes, but I'm actually not too nervous about them now because they're definitely more on my scope of work that I'm doing this summer, which I think will really, really help me for the fall. And I think I prepared myself with past semesters because I'm taking micro econ and stats, but it's really just a coding class. In the fall, which are the two hardest classes in my program. But because I'm doing stuff with economic development this summer and I use a lot of these tools on a daily basis now, I'm not worried about the content. I'm worried about the load because I know each of the classes have problem sets due every single week. So I'm more so worried about the workload, not necessarily the topic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's all about time management.
Cool yeah, and I can definitely learn that over the summer, and then also it's nice because since I'm close to people, my great friends in my program, we'll suffer together. So it is what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, let's hop into the episode. But before that, LOL, we're bringing a segment back by popular demand. Woo! But we're calling it nerd news because this is a mixture of everything. So, we'll just hop back and forth between the bullet points. So, I'll just start us off.
Let me pull it up.
Oh yeah, get pulled up, girl.
Got it.
Okay. So yeah, K-pop news. 17 had their new comeback. Happy birthday.
What an interesting name.
Interesting name.
Day?
I don't know the story behind it, but I finally listened to the full album, and it's really good. Everyone's solo songs are really good.
The solo songs, listening to the solo songs, I didn't finish. I have 4 or 5 left. It feels like when you're on your daily playlist on Spotify and
Shuffled.
It's just 2 whiplashes. They're so different. But I know S-Scoop song was the last one, but I really like S-Scoop song because I skipped to it because everyone said it was so good. Mingyu song is really good. But also, y'all, I need to touch some grass. The title track. One, it's good. It's good. But then 2, they do this crazy move with their arms, and I had so many fan cams on my TikTok, and I was oh. And I was like, oh my God. And I kid you not, for 2 hours straight, I was just watching TikTok fan cams of S-Scoops, mainly.
That's crazy. I'm waiting for Dana to watch the music video.
I haven't watched the music video. I just have watched it was stage fan cams. But then listen, it wasn't I searched them. I just kept watching them, so they kept popping up on my For You page. So it'd be a dinner idea as Scoops being slutty. And I remember that night, I sent you so many of the edits, and I was like, oh my God. Oh, and then there was one point where I was like, I need to go touch some grass. This.
Turn the lights on.
Crazy.
The only downside I have with this is that they are millennials and you're not letting these dudes cuss. Girl, on a Pharrell song, on a Pharrell
Also,
Williams produced song, they're like 30.
A lot of them are Gen Z, but
Well,
okay.
I mean, like, they're like late, they're older than us. They're all older than us. And they're not cussing. I cuss like a sailor.
I think Dino's are like exactly our age.
No, he
he
like
might be 99.
26. Let's look at that. But that pissed me off. That pissed me off. I was like, girl, I was so looking forward to that song.
Beep. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite song on the album. I like the title track.
It's
I really
26.
like the title track. C99?
I don't know. But it says
I think it's 99 then.
As of today. Wait. No, wait. Yeah, he's 99. He's February 11th, 99.
Okay, so he's literally exactly 1 year older than me.
Yeah, but like, the youngest member of the group is older than us.
But it's just like, dude, I don't know. I was like, I need to touch grass. Anyway, let's continue. I'll continue with the next one. So Aowashi, if you guys have not read or watched the first season of Aowashi, you are missing out on peak. It is the peak soccer anime. I said what I said. It is different than Blue Lock, but I also enjoy it 10 times more than I enjoy Blue Lock. Anyway, Aowashi is finally going to be in English print, and that release is set for May 12th, 2026. So next year, but that's still super exciting. We both have a Japanese volume, so it'll be exciting to actually have like the English copies. And I know season 2 was recently announced as well, so
I'm excited. It's so good. Like, guys,
need to watch it.
Next, we got J-Hope and Glorilla. They have a collab. Have you seen the photos? Have you seen J-Hope's photos?
No, I haven't.
Girl.
Go look. Is it on his Instagram?
Go touch some grass. Yes. I believe it's on his Instagram. I've been seeing them on Twitter. But anyways, J-Hope and Glorilla are having a collab. It's called Killin' It Girl. And that's set to release on June 13th. But damn, that was giving Calvin Klein ad. It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You see the...
Excuse me? Why is this the first picture?
Yeah, heart. Yeah, that was crazy.
These are... What the? Oh, this one's crazy.
I love how Glorilla talks.
This picture be going crazy.
Yeah.
He got his legs spread.
The only man spread allowed.
Literally. Okay, wow. Yeah, I thought it was funny that like he said he was interested, like he wanted to collab with Glorilla, and literally like 2 weeks later, it's like song. So I wonder if they already had this like planned, or if it's a like it just developed within 2 weeks.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah. And next console game, Death Stranding, is getting an anime adaptation. I've never played this game.
My cousin seemed really excited about it, so I figured other people would be excited about it too.
I'm sure you will all be excited about it, and I
love
that for you.
I love that for you.
It does.
I love that for you.
It does. But I've never played it.
Okay, and then Diamond No Ace is in fact getting a season 4. Okay, this might be a little bit of old news, but I just wanted to reiterate it again that it is indeed getting a season 4, and it is set for 2026. No month yet. So we'll see, but it's got Crunchyroll. So
that's that baseball anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like baseball.
Yeah, but it's an anime, so it's different.
I know, but I'm like, I have to go to a baseball game for work soon. Oh my god, I have to go to a baseball game for work.
No, the horror. No. Yeah, I gotta go to a Braves game and get a little drinky drink. Oh no.
I like don't know anything about baseball, so I'm like, should I watch Diamond No Ace? But we'll talk about what we're watching in a second. But like, anyway. Last piece of little nerd news is the final episode of season 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. Season 2 is scheduled for what the hell is a kilometer day? Independence Day. 4th of July.
I,
Oh, dude, Gemma just turned over and looked at me like, what the fuck is this bitch doing?
I need to watch season 2. I've been like living through it, like experiencing it on TikTok. Not like scenes, but like edits and stuff. So I need to watch it.
So this is a great segue into just a quick little updates. We told you we're updating our formatting of our episodes. So first we'll just, chat, nerd news, and then we're gonna give you guys a little watching update. So that can either be, we would used to do these as like full episodes, but we're super busy now, so now I'm just like, there's a lot going on, so I'm just gonna tell you guys what I've been watching, and this can be, it's probably mainly gonna be anime, but also non-anime and animation related, just because we're big nerds.
Right.
Hence the name, Are We Nerds? So I have been watching, everyone, sit down, crazy. I'm on episode 7. I'm almost done with it.
That's what I said in my head. I was guessing. I was like,
what is she? Vinland Saga. I'm on episode 7 of Vinland Saga, which, who would have thought? I really like it.
Nathan and I low-key bullied you. We're like, oh, so you haven't watched Peak yet. Okay, so you're a loser.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't know a good anime.
And then yesterday I was watching it and Nathan was like, oh, I need your help with something. And I'm like, but I'm in the middle of a crazy episode.
Right.
Because it's got to the point, like, spoilers if you haven't seen Vinland Saga. Obviously, Thorfinn's dad died. A very anticlimactic death, by the way. I don't know why. No, I mean, it was obviously climactic in terms of, like, what happened afterwards. But I don't know why I thought he was gonna die, like, in the duel. And I mean, I guess technically he did die in the duel, but I'm like, really? Some bow and arrows? Really?
It was like, it's been a while since I watched, like, the first season, but, like, it was an ambush, right? Mm-hmm. Or, like, it was, like, kind of, like, after skirmish stuff, and then it was, like, boom, arrow. Well, multiple arrows.
Yeah, it was multiple arrows, but, like, he had won the duel, and they were just, like, above him, and...
I guess that's, like, what... Oh, that's what makes it worse, because it's a warrior's death, right? So...
Yeah.
Especially with them being Vikings, like, that's kind of like giving stab in the back. Like, that's a coward's way of, like, killing someone. So, it's like you're getting no victory through death. Whatever, like, the whole, like, Valhalla, like, warrior death, like, you have to die by whatever set means. Like, I feel like it didn't meet those standards for what his dad and his spirit was about. So that's what makes it worse. Ugh.
Exactly. It was still sad. I don't know. Everyone explained it to me as really gory. So then when I was like, there's no blood, guys.
Oh,
like,
his dad? Oh, no. The season?
Oh, no, the rest of the show. I was watching that, and Thorfinn, like, literally took a knife across a guy's throat. Not just, like, slit his throat, like, straight up in his throat. And I was like, ooh. And he goes, that's the whole show, guys. And I was like, I can do gore. I can still react, guys. I can still react when I see gore.
Yeah, it's pretty good, though. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Like, you're not bored of it.
No, I'm enjoying it. I really wanted to finish my episode last night. I probably will. There are so many things I need to catch up on, but right now I'm watching Vinland Saga. That's the main thing, really the only thing I'm watching right now. And I need to finish that Vietnam War. Total 180 or 360. I need to finish the Vietnam War documentary that is on Netflix. Super good. Highly recommend it. Can't remember what it's called, but
like Turning
when
Point.
You go on Netflix, it's been like trending for a bunch. You'll see JFK's face on it. Like, you're fine. And then in terms of other stuff that I'm consuming, this is literature, but I am getting back into reading, guys. My reading goal for the year is 5 books, which I know doesn't sound crazy, but I think I have to do that this summer mostly, or like get a good chunk of it, because I know that my reading, like, abilities are going to be limited. Not abilities, but like my time to enjoy reading is going to be limited once the semester starts. But right now I am reading How to Hide an Empire. Very classic. I read this in college in like my intro to US foreign policy like class, because I was an international relations student. It's really, really good so far. It's nice to be able to read the whole book and not just like read certain chapters for class. So I've been enjoying that. It's good to read while I'm like coding, or like when I say read, I listen to books. So it's good to listen to while I'm like coding, doing data stuff, Excel stuff, because that's like I can still hear it. And yeah, it's really cool, especially how they talk about Hawaii and everything, you know, surrounding that, and the Philippines, the US history of the Philippines. So if you're interested in nonfiction books and interested in the US empire, hidden empire, not so hidden, but kind of hidden. Anyway, definitely recommend that book. It's like a classic in the foreign policy, international relations.
It's just like when people like think about imperialism, like they're always like, okay, like, you know, England, France, like the Netherlands and stuff. Like they'd never say America. I don't know like why they're so scared to like not put that. Like it's like, you know, but you're not including it in the bullet points of like
I'm like, we literally have, there's like, in part of the book, it's talking about, like, I can't remember he was talking to who, but it was like these officials in the government. And they were like, well, we can't call them colonies because that's like too harsh. So they're going to be called territories. And I was like, we
crickets.
still own them, guys.
Okay, whatever you say.
Acquired the Philippines. Like, people in Manila were helping us fight the Spaniards. And then the US really said, yeah, give us the Philippines for only 26 million. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was only a couple $1 million.
Let's look it up.
So we can grab the Philippines. And all the Filipinos are like, crazy stuff. Anyway, that is content I'm consuming.
We bought it from Spain for 20 million.
Okay, so that's worse.
It was part of the Treaty of Paris signed on December 10th, 1898.
Yep.
I can guarantee y'all that probably 95% of the American people had no clue that we owned the Philippines.
Why do you guys think people are like, oh, Filipinos are so, not saying that Filipinos aren't smart, but like Filipinos are so smart, they can speak English without an accent. Yeah, because we owned them for a while.
Crazy.
That's why English is so common over there. Anyway,
speaking about that side of the world, I got a TikTok edit of not Korean, pardon. I got a TikTok edit of a Chinese drama. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, brother. It's called Melody of Golden Age. It's kind of giving me Apothecary Diaries vibes. And like, but the main girl, she works for the Ministry of Justice. She's not an apothecary. But it came out 2024. And it's on Viki.
Okay, I was gonna ask, are you watching it on Viki?
I am watching it on Viki. Did I pay for the cheapest subscription? Yeah.
The cheapest subscription's like $5, right? A month?
No, it's $7.99. It went up.
It went up. Inflation. That was another thing. Sorry guys. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I saw, like, I was listening to NPR, the finance, like,
yeah,
podcast, as that's just good to know. My master's is in public policy, and I neglected learning about finances in undergrad, so I'm learning a lot about it now and having to use it a lot now because, you know, we can't do policies without money. Anyway, so I was listening to it, and it was like Trump getting mad at the Fed chair for not decreasing interest rates. He's like, our economy is doing great. And I was like, guys, chat. And the chair was like, yeah, why would we decrease interest rates? We're not doing good. I don't know if that was recently. I don't remember when I was watching it. Anyway.
I do want to start... Okay, well, I know I have to start watching season 2 of Apothecary Diaries, but I really also want to start... Okay, guys, I'm not really watching anything. There's things I want to start. I just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Fair enough.
I need to start season 2 of Apothecary Diaries. I really want to start watching Devil May Cry. And my dad and I had just finished Drive to Survive, the latest season, on Netflix, but now they have the F1 Academy season or series is out on Netflix, and that's or it's called F1, the Academy, and it's about
Yeah, I saw that.
it's about the female drivers.
That's so cool.
So I need to
As they
start.
should.
It's tea, it's drama. This is my reality TV shows that I watch. It's literally just Formula One stuff.
Anyway.
Anime Dad and I will probably get back into watching Solo Leveling, so we need to finish that soon, and then we'll get into season 2. But
I've started Solo Leveling.
I'm just reading a bunch of manhwa, so I can't get into all of it. It's so much. It's too much.
Yeah, no, girl, we'll be here for 2 hours just for her talking about the manhwa she's reading.
Yeah, so just message me.
We didn't go to a yaoi panel at MomoCon this year.
We didn't. I don't know what it was. I mean, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of things that I was interested in going to that people were hosting. There was more things I was interested in going to at Anime Weekend. So
well, there was like a couple things I was interested in, but I was so tired that I was like,
it was either too late or we were not there during the time of day that things were happening. So, but the cosplay's 8.
Should I turn this light on? Like this lamp. Should I turn the lamp in front of me on?
Let's see what it looks like. Oh, you gotta plug it in? Oh my.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was charging my work laptop.
Oh my god.
God forbid a girl have to work.
But while she's doing that, yeah, MomoCon was fun. People were really nice and people recognized our cosplays. And, you know, I forced Emily to do the Lucy cosplay and she ate. Like, can't deny that she ate. People were like, it's Lucy. Oh my god, it's Lucy. It's Lucy. And we went to the comedy show like every night that it was available. And so she's like, we like eyelash glued our mustaches and beards on. And like we're laughing, we're like full on laughing, and like it was itching my face.
Funny.
Oh my god, we laughed so hard. It was like itching my face, and it didn't hurt. It was just irritating because like my mustache was moving up and down on my face, and I was like, I need to rip this shit off. It would literally be like 9 p.m. I'm like, wig off.
I
gotta go.
Didn't wear wigs. Do you wear wigs? I didn't wear wigs this year because all of my... First of all, I cosplayed only emo boys except for Lucy, but I also think, though, that I've come to realize, you know, I'm the most confident in my cosplay when I'm cosplaying emo boys.
Not emo... Well, I guess... Okay, I was thinking about this because I was also getting throwback, like, Snapchat things of MomoCon, like the first one we went to, and I was like, I need to do my Howl cosplay again.
That's a good one.
That was a really good one. I was like, I fear I ate in that costume.
You did. But I will say at the comedy show, it also didn't help because every single night, without a doubt, I was intoxicated.
Yeah. Last night we laughed so hard, I felt like I sobered up. Laughing.
No, I did. And then not only was I like, okay, again, drink responsibly, consume anything responsibly.
Hydrate.
These in Georgia, there are like the edibles are legal here. Like you can get them at the smoke shop. Totally legal. So no one come at me because you're like, you're from Georgia. Isn't like weed illegal? Technically, weed is illegal. These aren't weed gummies. They're Delta 8.
There's like a thin line between stuff here in Georgia. It's just weird. Yeah. Like, just look it up yourself if you're trying to figure it out.
But the ones that I was consuming, and Emily can confirm, are legal because I bought them at the smoke shop right by my house. So I took like one of those, and I wasn't drinking like a lot. Again, I was drinking responsibly. I had like my little edible. I drank my little beers, well, really mainly Cayman Jacks. So it wasn't like anything crazy. Literally every single night I took one, and the third night I laughed so hard. I left. I walked in. I was a little like, I was feeling it. I walked out. I was completely fine.
And also, then we had go ahead.
Emphasis that we did not drive any of these days. Public transportation. Marta.
True. And then we had our MomoCon party. Yeah, things happened that night. It was not good. Well, our party was great, except that we didn't
Our
have ping
party was
pong
great.
balls.
And
So,
Emily ordered some.
and I did multicolored 12 pack.
Color.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but overall, pretty chill MomoCon. This is probably the chillest con we've had so far. So
Yeah, I had a lot of fun this year, so
I'm glad.
I'm excited for the expansion.
Me too. They needed that.
I'm also like, damn, we're gonna be walking so much.
Yeah. But if they're combining the halls, like you should be able to walk from A hall, like the where they have artist alley and all that stuff, from A hall into B. They just have to move the walls. So yeah. Anyways, let's bitch about school some more. Um, I was like, you know, let's do an episode about school and like the differences between like Japan and like American schools, but also in the sense of like how things are similar between like what students are experiencing, because I feel like that's a universal experience. So, this is kind of like about academic pressure because we all get that, cultural expectations, and then how that mixes into like anime realism versus fiction, like what is true, like what's not true with school experiences. So, yeah, animes that are going to be brought up are My Hero Academia, Your Lie in April, Blue Period, Horimiya, Hayaka, Kaguya-sama, Love is War. So, I've always been like curious and interested in like how Japanese students like prepare for exams and like their college entrances compared to like American ones. So for like
Yeah.
Japanese students, like their examining like period and like how they get about it, that seemed like torture to me. And I feel like to you too, because we're not good at standardized testing.
Oh, it was so bad. Like
really bad.
when I was applying to colleges, I had over a 4.0 GPA, but y'all, I'm gonna tell you guys because I'm far removed from it, and it does not define my intelligence. Y'all want to know what my ACT score was?
I don't remember mine. What was yours?
We got the same thing.
What was it?
19.
Damn.
Yeah, we didn't do good.
No.
But that does not define our academic achievements or our intelligence, because very clearly Emily has a master's degree. I'm almost done with my master's degree. Written academic papers, but I just can't do standardized tests. And back then I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD because they don't like to diagnose women young.
Me
even
too.
though I was like almost 18. 2, I suck at standardized tests. So yeah. I think, did you take it twice? I took it 3 times.
I think I only took it once.
Okay.
Obviously,
I took it 3 times.
all high schoolers had to take like the PSAT, I think. Unless your parent wrote a slip where it's like, you don't need to take it. But like I didn't take the SAT because I don't know, someone told me like ACT was better if you were better at like these type of things compared to.
Yeah, that's why I took the ACT. I didn't take the SAT, and I did not take the GRE for grad school. Thank God. I purposefully, and I'm in a great school, guys. So I purposely, the Ivy League of the South. Just kidding. The inventors of MomoCon, the anime club, invented MomoCon in 2005. I've come to find out. We're just Texas Anime Club.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Kind of crazy. It was pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, it did not do good. So I could not imagine like being in school in Japan and having to do standardized. Like that sounds awful. And then I know their parents. Well, I don't actually know, but I'm assuming everyone I know who has foreign, and by foreign I mean foreign to America, like not born and raised in America. Like my parents are Mexican or Mexican American, my dad's kids, but they the academic pressure from my family was so real. I remember being in the 2nd grade. I will never forget this. I don't think I've ever told you this story. I was in the 2nd grade. We were doing math, okay? And it was addition. Or not addition. I don't know what it was. It was something with math, and there was pennies on a sheet. And we had to like color in these pennies, and it was our quiz, right? I got a 60, and I thought my life was over. And I was so scared to, because my parents would always ask me for like my grades. Like if I got a grade back, they would ask me, and if I didn't show it to them, like they would go in my bag and look for my grades, and that was a bit much, but
Well, parents had
I
to
love my
sign
parents.
like the agendas and like whatever too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
Exactly. They had to sign the agendas, and so they were like, "Well, we're just gonna show us your grades." And I wouldn't hide my grades from them. I never did that. Like I always showed them because I always got good grades. Um, and so like if they ever to look for it, is because I forgot because I was in second grade. But anyway, I failed. I got a 60. Thought my life was over. I got home. My mom's waiting for me at the door when I get off the bus, and she's like, "How's your day?" I start sobbing.
that's funny.
I'm like, "Mommy, you said me examen de matemáticas," and my mom's like,
What?
"Okay." And I'm like, "No, but everyone did bad." I don't know if everyone did bad, but that's the excuse where everyone's like, you do a bad grade, you're like, "Yeah, but everyone failed."
Right. No, I see. That's definitely thinking. Like, it wasn't only me that failed. Everyone else failed. So it's got to be this test problem. It's got to be how it was written. It's got to be the teacher's fault.
Exactly. And so,
I feel like maybe
yeah,
that wouldn't be like the mind, like how Japanese students would process that. They'd be like, "Oh no, we're all just stupid. It's not their fault. It's our fault." Like, I don't know.
I know, but I'm just, yeah. And so I just think of like, if I, not saying it's the same because every culture is different, but literally like like academic pressure from everyone I know who has foreign parents, I can just imagine it would be very, very similar.
Yeah, like the entrance exams for like the fact that you have to test into like high school for Japanese,
Crazy.
crazy. Like I would not. Well, okay,
I'm not going to do a good one.
that's kind of like it's not as high stake here because like obviously like when we were here taking like standardized testing like to go to the next grade, like you would be held back then. Now they're just passing anyone. But like, the CRCT, like you had to have like certain scores or like you're getting a letter where parents would be like, "Hey, unless like you say we can't, like your student's going to be held behind, like held back a grade." Um
I think they should bring that back.
they should because Bush ruined it with No Child Left Behind. Everyone's left behind. Bush. He needs another shoe thrown at him. Anyways, like there you do testing to see like if you're smart enough
Your
to get to the
level.
next grade, like like but the fact that you have to study to get a certain score to get in like these top level high schools in like your area or like even like anywhere throughout the country, I feel like that's insane. I could not
We didn't
imagine.
have to do that. We didn't have to do that in middle school and high school. Like I remember we did have a standardized test. I can't remember what it was because the CRCT is gone now. It's a different standardized test.
Yeah,
Um,
that I think
in
that
high,
ended when we got to high school.
yeah,
I
I
don't know
think
what it
so.
is now.
I don't know, but it's some other kind of standardized exam. But in middle school and high school, I also took other standardized exams. I don't remember what they were, but like they definitely were not like high stakes. Like it was like a grade in the class if you took it.
Yeah,
It was not showing how you
we did that
went
for
on to the next
like
grade.
I think English classes.
I think that's what I remember. English and math, I want to say that I remember.
And then um well in middle school I didn't take any like ELA classes cuz I was smart enough. By 6th grade, if you got high enough scores that you were competent of the English language and reading skills, you could just do a foreign language. So I did foreign language from 6th to 8th grade.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
My county did not do that.
Yeah, we did that.
My
I was like,
county,
yeah, I could read AR star like in elementary school. I could read like
I
so.
did take. Everyone still had to take ELA, but I took in 7th and 8th grade. You could take like either French or Spanish at that like high school level, and then those 2 years would count for your first year of high school. So when I got to, and I took Spanish, which like actually was really helpful because I didn't know any of the grammar. I only ever spoke it. So actually like seeing
Colonizer
the grammar.
grammar.
Grammar. I know. I would show my mom and she'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Girl, I don't know. You tell me." And but anyway, so we had that, and we had foreign language in middle school, but you had to like be at a certain level with the standardized reading exams, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So you still had to, so I guess it was similar. You still had to take ELA, but you also like, if you made a certain score on these standardized like English tests, you could do the 7th and 8th grade Spanish or French.
Interesting.
Like combo.
Ours was kind of like that.
My county did it.
Ours was kind of like that, but you took one semester in 6th grade of ELA while taking French as an elective. And then if you did well that semester, your second semester of 6th grade, you can just do the foreign language all the way through 8th grade. So, there's like those differences, but the fact that you have to only test like test scores for high school and college, yeah, I would have went to a dumb school, guys. Like it would have been Gojo over for me if like I as a foreigner was just like plopped into the Japanese schooling system. Like it's over. I envy their studying system, but I think it's the gifted neurodivergent United States student problem when it comes to studying, because if you were in a gifted program, you were not like, I didn't study. I don't think I really had homework. Like, I was really trying to think about it because I was like, I did soccer every day, like middle school to like high school. So where was my homework? What was I doing? What did I turn in? Like, what?
For me, I do remember in like junior and senior year of high school having homework. I remember having homework, but not like, it wasn't homework that took me a long time. It was rather easy, and like that was that. And also you could often do it like in the class period before that class.
That's so true.
And then
was not doing homework at home.
No, because I never did my homework. And then also like teachers would give us time in class to do our homework. And then I was in bands from 6th to 12th grade, and so that's so interesting. But I wish I did like have these things. Not saying that they need to be super intensive, but like when I got to college, I did not know how to study. I had to figure out how to study.
It's a culture shock. Like it's a micro culture shock when you go to college, because you're like, I have no work ethic. I have no study ethic. Like, what am I going to do? The fact that they're pounding that into Japanese students from the beginning, kind of envy that. The pressure about it, though, that goes along with it, I don't envy that. Don't like that.
I don't think I envy that specific, like, system, but I do think it is important that students get these skills while they're in, I was gonna say undergrad, nope, while they're in high school and middle school, so for here in the US, so that when they go to university or 4-year technicals, 2 years, or if they don't go to college at all, doesn't matter, but if they do go to college, they know how to freaking study. Because I was a gifted student, Emily was also a gifted student. I had like over a 4.0 GPA, and I had no idea how to study. Like, I got to college, my first semester was so rough because I could just get by.
That's very true.
Like, in high school, I just did it, and I was done.
Well, because, like, they also had, like, cram schools over there, which are probably more affordable than, like, anything you can get over here, like, private tutor or, like, what's that place people go to? Kumon, or... But I think that's just math. Mathnasium, Kumon, like stuff like that. Like, that's probably pretty expensive over here. But I was like looking up AI overview of how much cram schools cost in Japan. And obviously there's going to be a wide range of prices depending on where you go. But that's saying that it's roughly 10,000 to 50,000 yen. So that's like $67 to $335 or more. But I don't know if that's like annual fees or if that's like every month you're paying that.
I don't know.
But that's still
We're talking
pretty
about
decent if you're
we're
like
talking about things that we can like do to better our education system here in the U.S. But let's be so fucking for real. Look at who we have in office right now.
he's
They're
Coach
trying to get
over.
rid of the Department of Education. First of all,
Yeah, that's true. It was Coach over.
it is Coach over. That's why I'm saying bring. I never thought I'd say it. Bring holding children back a grade.
For
What are
like
we gonna do?
for cultural expectations for Japanese students, like the success is often seen as a reflection of the family, or like shame and fear of failure are powerful motivators. Like for like that bullet point for American students, I think it really depends on how your anxiety is like formed or expressed through your like morals and what you deem is important in your life, because I definitely do have the fear of failure, and like if I'm a failure, like my family's gonna think I'm a failure and then it's over and I'm useless. So definitely have that feeling when it comes to academic like validation. I need
Yeah.
that. I strive for that. So I get that. But for like the thing is that like that moves me to do well. But if I didn't do like how well I wanted to be, it wouldn't be over for me, like in the American education system. Like they would still push me forward. You know what I mean? That's like what makes it different, I feel. So I don't know.
Oh my God, lady of the fucking night.
Is she at the door?
Sorry. She's at the fucking window. Sorry.
But also with the academic pressures and whatnot, like in the United States, obviously there's more of an emphasis on like extracurriculars that comes with your application to like college and whatnot or
Yeah,
universities.
because it's not just academics.
It's not
It's
just
like, yes, you
GPA
want
or test
like,
scores.
well, it's also too, so it depends, guys, if you're not from the US, or also if you are from the US and you just, a lot of Americans aren't aware like how certain systems work, which is a failure of the American education system. So while we're talking about that, but like here, um, in Georgia specifically, and this is different. This is a Georgia specific thing because again, every state operates differently. We have what's called the Hope Scholarship and the Zell Miller Scholarship. And so the Hope Scholarship basically covers 120 credit hours of tuition. So you could basically go to school for not free, but your classes are like it covers most of your classes. It covers a huge amount of your college costs. Like
You wouldn't be in
never
major debt.
yeah,
Like,
I only took out one loan in undergrad and it wasn't even for my classes. It was to dorm. And that was like to be transparent, it was only $5,000. So and Hope and Pell Grant, I was on Pell Grant because of like the low income. I met the low income standards, or my parents did. But I wasn't getting a lot of money. But yeah, I never, after dorming, I didn't take out another student loan in undergrad. My bills would be like $200, so I would do payment plans. So I was very lucky in that sense. But that's Hope Scholarship. And to get Hope Scholarship, you have to have what is oh my God, it's the lady of the night. Sorry, she's like banging onto the door.
oh.
And I was like, what the fuck? You have to have a certain GPA. So you have to have a Hope eligible 3.0 GPA in high school, which is about a B average, but certain classes don't count towards that. So like I don't think band counted towards it. Like a lot of electives didn't, if I remember correctly, but like all your core classes did. I can't fully remember, but so you have to keep a 3.0 to get that GPA. So there are certain standards like and then you have to keep a 3.0 GPA throughout all 4 years or however long you were in college. You could lose hope once, so you could drop below 3.0 and you would lose hope, but you had one chance to gain it back. So it's a really great like system. and really, really helpful that we have here in Georgia. It's only for Georgia residents, so
And it's based
out
off
of
the
state,
lottery, people buying
yeah,
lottery
it is
tickets.
based off of the lottery. People pay for it through the lottery, which is a genius policy move. Anyway, so
Thank you for gambling. Like,
thank you. But yeah, what I was saying is that like most students in that I knew in undergrad just did what they could to like keep that GPA. But then, I mean, this is more based off of like high school. It was like keep that GPA and get that GPA so you can get Hope Scholarship.
so that
But
you at least
like,
have the choices of like attending like tuition free ish, like in the state of
exactly,
Georgia. So you had a couple of
exactly.
options. But the thing is that also there's like unequal systems where it's like
Yeah. But they
different
also
academic and financial
emphasize,
pressures are going to stop you from like maybe wanting to apply out of state because you don't know if you're going to
yeah,
get accepted, or you could get accepted to an out of state university, but it's a matter of, are you going to be able to afford it? Are you going to get scholarships for it? Do you have the means to live over there? Like, there's so many other factors you have to think of
but
to attend
then
these schools.
yeah. What I was gonna say though for like the Hope thing is like keep that GPA is that's like the academic obviously they want you to succeed academically, but the expectation is make the 3.0 GPA, but the priority I would say is electives because that is what they told us would make our college applications like competitive. So yeah,
Like,
there's definitely like a big focus on electives.
and
Or
then
not electives,
you being a
extracurriculars. I'm so sorry. Extracurriculars.
you being like a community person. So they were really like big on
Mhm.
you like volunteering. They were big on you being in like clubs like Beta Club or just clubs
All
like
great
that, like
things.
Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, that type of thing where you're involved with the community, like you're a well-rounded person in the sense of what you're able to do, because I guess those skills
Mhm.
later on will like help you in your career, or like you, if you're a well-rounded person and you have all these skills, hard or soft skills, then you're going to be able to be a good like working piece for this workforce that is the United States of America. Blue collar or like white collar, that type of stuff. So
Ugh,
they really
God.
wanted you to be a clog in the
Well-rounded individual.
capitalistic machine. Like,
I know what clubs. Okay, emphasis. Yes, we always talk about how we've known each other since we were 5, but we did not go to the same high school. So there's like some things that I don't know about like her high school life. But like what clubs were you in? What extracurriculars did you do?
well, since I did soccer like most of the time, like I did soccer. I was a wrestling manager. I was in mastery choir. I did beta club in middle school.
Mm.
What else did I do in high school? That's about it. Like I wasn't really like in clubs. I did more like, I guess like the volunteering or like community outreach stuff like through the church.
Yeah, I
So
did a lot of volunteering. The clubs that I were I was mainly in, I was in marching band all 4 years. I was in, no, wow, this is
yeah.
really gonna show how much of a fucking loser I am. Just wait until I tell you all the clubs I was in. Anyway, yeah, so I was in marching band all throughout high school. I was in concert band from middle school throughout high school. I was deep into that band life in high school. I was section leader, all
No,
that
you were
stuff.
deep into band life. I was deep into soccer, where I was doing high
Yeah,
school soccer, I was doing club soccer, and I was doing indoor soccer. So it was just
yeah,
like I that's all I did. I lived and breathed
yeah.
soccer.
For band for me, it was like in the fall it was all marching band. Summer and fall it was all marching band, and then in the spring it was like, okay, now it's concert season, and not only is it concert season, it's also all state season, so you have to do all these practices. So
LGPE.
LGPE. So yeah, I did all of that. I that was when I was in math club. I was in beta club.
Ew.
Was in beta club. I
Uh,
also was just mainly in beta club because you could use the community hours I had for school or from the church to school, so it made it really convenient. But yeah, I was in beta club, math
oh, I was
club.
in the
I
health
was,
club.
ooh, that's cool.
Forgot I was in that for a second. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was also in the oh my god, what's it called? Oh, I was an academic bowl. That's what it's called. I was an academic bowl. So, like, pretty much trivia for high schoolers, but tournament style is basically
I
what
did
that
reading bowl in middle school.
was. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So.
And then I was also in National Honor Society, National Science Honor Society, National Math Honor Society.
All that type of stuff
And
gives like cult though when they send you things. Your child's eligible for National Honor Society. Sign up today for that.
yeah,
And I'm like,
no, but
here's a
it's
bumper
not those
sticker.
things. It wasn't those the ones that they would send you in the mail. It was like
Yeah.
based off of like the state and like
And I'm just like,
the school specific ones. Like you had to apply to these honor societies or whatever. So you had to have like a certain amount of honors or AP credits like within that like well, for like overall National Honor Society, it was like for all of like overall, but for like science, it was a certain amount in science classes and math classes. Anyway, so yeah, we're both nerds, but it like you can see that's an emphasis. And I don't know, I know that people in Japan are typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you are from Japan, I am speaking from a
from what
like
I know in anime.
I'm speaking from an American. Like I know that they always show in the animes that they have to join clubs, but like here, you know, we listed off all the things we were doing on top of like volunteering and school, but like I always felt that school was presented, like the actual academic part of it was presented as a secondary thought, and extracurriculars were first. They always said school was, but they always pushed those extracurriculars on you, and they would tell you, they were like, this is gonna make your
it's gonna make your application like having these things. Yeah. But for me, like being a student athlete, I did have to have certain grades in order to do what I wanted to do. I feel like that was another thing. I feel like from the Japanese sense, like Japanese schools, like you being in those clubs, that's a hobby that you like doing. Like that's what you want to be a part of. For us, it's like half that and then half like maybe in the back of my mind, like half I need to do this because I need this for my application. But like I enjoy being in this club or I enjoy doing this like extracurricular. You know like what I mean? But for them I feel like it was maybe just a hobby because I don't see maybe they're learning skills, but like you don't need those skills for that like for baseball club in order to do well on your whatever entrance exam that you're taking. You know what I mean? So unless you're going to like I don't know in high school like how they have like certain schools that are like you're dorming there because you're on a scholarship, like athletic scholarship. Private schools. So
in America, we're also speaking from an American public school. Neither of us went to private school.
So you are not allowed to. I don't know what's it called. You're not allowed to scout. Here it's illegal in Georgia to at least scout students to participate in sports at your school. I think my high school actually got in trouble for that, like our football coaches did. But like obviously there are certain high schools depending on where they are where your teams are better because of the money that your school has because there's a bigger population or it's a richer district. And like obviously those people if they have the money to be in these certain clubs. So the United States like sports system and how it works is really like if you have the money, you and the skills, you're able to be on a really good team and make it farther. Everything's about money here, as you can see. So it's like
I mean it's about money.
It's about money. My dogs are barking, but
continuing on.
Yeah, but just like
I would say those are like the key differences between. All to wrap that in a nice little bow, those are like the key differences between that we see from an American perspective between Japanese schools and American schools in terms of like what we would classify in America as K through 12.
Yeah. So
next.
Well, like the anime examples for that for Blue Period, obviously there's how do you say his name? Well, I think he just goes by Yatora Yaguchi.
I think so.
Yeah, he has the double burden of regular school and prep school. I cannot imagine being at school for like whatever amount of hours and then going to his cram school.
He's in art prep school, right?
Yeah, could not be me. Could not be me. But yeah, that stressed me out reading about him. And I
Oh my
don't even
god,
do
that
art.
is such a good series. I
It's
know
a
that's
really good
the
example
manga
too of like
though. Yeah.
academic burden and stress to be in like what you want to be, but like academics literally sucking the life out of you of your passion.
Yeah,
So it's like,
for sure.
but for him, like, prepping for the art school exam for Tokyo University, which is like only
Mhm.
1 to 2% of applicants get in for like the freshman year. Even that stressed me out reading that. I was like, I would never get in. I
I
can't even
know.
doodle.
I was so anxious. I was like, he's not gonna get in. Guys, he's chat.
He broke out in hives. I've definitely done
He
that
did.
before, getting anxious before I have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah. And the fact that he discovered his passion for art so late and then he's like, I'm gonna go to Tokyo University. That stressed me out. But 8+ hours in the studio after
That's
regular
crazy.
hours, mock
Like,
exams, evaluations.
yeah, like not in terms of cram school. I will say when I was in marching band, this is the only, it's not like exactly comparable, but this was the most I spent outside of school.
That made my eye
So
twitch.
during this summer, we would have 2 week, and this is different again, school to school, but for my school, we would have 2 week long band camps, so Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. And it started at 8 a.m. and it ended at 8 p.m.
Hell no.
And
Hell
we
nah.
only had 30-minute lunch break, so we really only had like an hour off. We'd have that for every 2 weeks. And then the week before school started, we had rehearsal Monday through Thursday, I want to say, or Monday through Wednesday. And then once the actual school year started, we would have rehearsals from basically when school ended to 8 p.m. And it would be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And then typically during football season, which happens around 2 weeks after school started, 2 to 3 weeks, we would be at football games every Friday. So depending if it was an away game or a home game, we would be from school from whatever time we got there, like 8 something, and then we would leave at like 1, 12, 11. It just depended if it was an away game or a home game, and where that away game was. But I had to go to every single one because I was in marching band. And then on Saturdays in August and September, we would have 2 12-hour rehearsal days. So one every month, and we would go in on a Saturday, it'd be 8 in the morning to 8 p.m. And then in October, this is all while having our regular rehearsal dates of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Ew.
In October, we would have either a competition every Saturday, or I remember one weekend, it depended on the year. One year we had one weekend off, and the other year we had a 12-hour rehearsal that weekend. But I think it's because we went to like a bigger competition. Anyway, so that was like the most comparable thing. That's how much time I spent in marching band. But that was only during the fall. But I also paid for that.
I paid to be stressed.
I literally paid to suffer. But I had a great time, guys. I love marching band.
I'm just noticing that we, like, our whole beginning part of this, like, combined segment 1 and 2. So, like, from the segment 2 part of, like, entrance exams for Blue Period, the fact that, the acceptance rate for the university is, like, 1 to 2%, that would stress me out. Like, for me, I only applied to Georgia State. That's the only university I applied to. Because I wanted to be downtown. But, like, I didn't write the essay because that was optional. I took the SAT. They took my score. I had AP credits. Like, I was just like, here, like, me throwing my application, here, guys. And then I got in. So, but then, like, when COVID happened for people getting into, like, colleges here, like, through the university system of Georgia, like, you didn't have to take the SAT or the ACT. They were not accepting those scores, which was good, because, like, who's out there taking them? But, like, even a year or two after the pandemic was over, like, they were still not accepting them. Or they were at least optional for Georgia State. So I was like, damn.
I know, I wish that was us. Like, that's a good move, because I would say standardized tests are not a good examination of your, like, overall skill. I do think that GPA plus extracurriculars, that's a good combo of, like, what you can take, you know? Because it's all about time management. So that's
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
chilling with my 4.1. So I'm all good. I'm all good now. Medicated 4.1. Like I was like, wow, the difference medication takes. Like but
Dude, I'm so mad. My GPA went down, like, or not down, it went up, but in my mind, it went
it
down.
went
So
down.
my professor, what?
It went down. It's Gojo over 3.9. It's Gojo over.
It's a 3.6. Oh.
Mine was a 4.2 and then it went down to 4.1 because I got an A minus and I was like, this is stupid as fuck.
So the thing that's so fucking stupid with text like GPA thing is okay. At Georgia State, there's the plus minus system, so you know there's more points if you get an A plus versus if you get an A minus on your GPA. For tech, it doesn't matter. So it's just flat A, flat B, flat C, flat D, flat F. And I got an 80 fucking 9 in one class that I thought I
LOL.
was gonna get an A in. And so I had counted it. So my GPA was estimated to go up from a 3.5 to a 3.8. And so I was like, oh hell yeah, like this is great. Summa cum laude, not that it matters, but just like a personal goal. And it's just cool. Um, and then I get my scores and it's a B. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? I got a B in this class. So I actually reached out to my professor and I was like, hey, can you like break down my grade? Because I don't think I should. And she broke it down for me and it was literally an 89. But because it doesn't have the plus minus system, I only got the B score. So my GPA only went up like 0.2. I know, first world problems. It's just a personal thing, okay? See, academic gifted kid syndrome. Gifted kid syndrome is so real in the
It is
US.
real. And it goes to here talking about uh Yatora's like experiences like with severe imposter syndrome. That's me
Yeah.
as fuck. With any of
Oh
my
my god.
papers I turn in and I get an A, I'm like, did you only give me an A because like you had a day left to turn in grades? Like, what do you mean I got an A on this paper? Like, it's not good. I don't think anything I write is good, or like deserving of A or A plus.
You
And
are
that's
a good writer.
I know that's the thing. I know I'm a good writer because obviously I'm here where I am now. But like the thing, I'm like no. They're like A plus me. No, I don't accept. I need to see. That's how I feel. And writer's block is real. He has art block.
It's,
Writer block is real.
writer's
And
block
then
is really real.
this other
But
bullet
I
point.
totally get.
Oh
Oh,
wait,
go
hold
ahead.
on.
Sorry.
There's other bullet point of like pressure, like not just coming from like exams, but like financial limits or
Oh
financial
my
stress,
god.
and then time
Mhm.
constraints. And like middle class guilt is so real when it comes to choosing a risky career path. Mine wasn't even risky, like anthropology, but people are like, what is that? And I'm like, that's a great question. Like, what am I going to do with this degree? There's lots I can do with this degree, but that's kind of like a double edged sword of like, how could I apply this to like a specific
Where do
job?
you want to go to college, girl?
He's going to go to Hell College.
No, that's Kenma. He's fucking climbing the walls.
True.
Anyway,
But
um,
the middle class guilt is so real. And I've written a paper on this. And this kind of goes
okay.
into the financial stresses when it like in my thesis as well. But I wrote a
Yeah.
paper about the outside influences on um, choice of degree for undergraduates, especially with minority communities, because a lot of people, and you've heard things where people are like, I wanted to go to art school, or like I wanted to do film, or like whatever, but I chose a business degree. Like nothing's wrong with a business degree, but it's the fact that you have to choose a safe career path because you have like job certainty with that or whatever, or like choosing marketing or communications. It's just like me.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
was.
boring. I was just like, I
That's
wish people
so.
could like do what they love and like make money.
Well, and that's so real because, and you can attest to this because we went to college together, but that was very real for me. Like, I was an early education major, like childhood major. Um, and like, I did that because my parents were like, oh, you should become like a nurse or a Like, I
Me
think
cites
just
it.
nurse, actually.
Me pisses out at the sight of blood. You should become a nurse.
I know. But yeah, my parents like wanted me to become a nurse because they're like, that's a stable career. And I was like, I don't want to become a nurse. And so I did early childhood education because in their mind, early childhood education degree, you'll be like an elementary school teacher. And like, God, imagine, actually, I think I'd be kind of a good elementary school teacher. I don't think I would enjoy it though.
I think I could see you like pre-K. Also like maybe pre-K through second grade.
Masters of Public Policy. All right, guys.
All right, time to teach second graders how to say read.
Which is fine, but like, girl, that pay, they do not pay teachers enough. And I paid too much for this degree.
You gotta work at a private school. Public school kids,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, everything I do must be public.
Yeah.
I want to help the public. Anyway.
Charter.
But, like, but that's so. Wait, what were you saying?
The
about
middle class guilt of choosing.
No, it's so real because yeah, I was early childhood education because that was like considered stable to my parents because I'd have a teaching job, and I was in my classes. I was like, I fucking hate this. This is terrible. But I ended up in a sociology class randomly. Because it was like just everyone needs a social science credit in college at Georgia State to graduate. And so that was my social science credit. And I took it. I didn't sign up for it. Like, it was given to me, whatever. And that class, literally, to this day, I say that changed my life. I was like, oh my God, like, this is so cool to me. Like, how society works, how society thinks as a collective, how we move, the things we do, why we do the things we do. Like, those are all socially constructed. This is crazy. Like, Paulding County never taught me that. And I was so scared. I remember talking to you and I was like, should I change my major? Because I was so scared because I was like, but sociology, there's like no, like, what am I going to get this degree in? And I was like, I can't like not make money. And you were really helpful, I remember, when we were talking about it. And so then I went and I changed my major to sociology, but then I actually changed my major again. But this one was not a like big change.
It wasn't as big.
No, I had a sociology major, political science minor, and I switched it to a political science major, sociology minor. But within enough time that like I still graduated early. But like doing that, oh my God, girl, having to explain to my dad that I was not gonna be a teacher, or at least the kind of teacher he imagined me to be,
right?
And like I'm in a social science career path, that was so fucking
What
scary.
the hell is that?
He's like, what am I paying for? And I'm like, you're not. You're paying for when you buy lottery tickets, though.
True. Like, at least with mine, I've definitely had people ask me, so you're working with dinosaurs? No.
Girl.
No. I'm not even working with people, as in dead people. I'm not working with those bones. I'm not working with primates. I'm not working with nothing like that. I'm learning about people.
Like, so, why do people do what they do?
Why do people do what they do? And what are the consequences behind our actions, basically? Like that type of stuff. Why does society work? Well, let me tell you. No. So, like, that's so real. That's so real. Because I'm just like, I'm really pro, like, doing what you love, obviously. And, like, I understand there are financial burdens and things that you need to think of. Because obviously you need money for your world to go round. Okay? I totally understand that. But for me, I was like, I'm the type of person, like, and this is so ADHD, like, if I'm not interested in it, I'm not doing it. My brain, my body will not allow me. Nope. Like, yeah. Any math, sometimes political stuff, I don't care. Like, that's how my brain works.
Hey, I'm not in political science anymore. That was my undergrad.
No.
That set me up for my master's.
No. We're like slowly our things that we're learning about are like gonna collide.
I know.
Because our things are kind of getting similar, which is kind of crazy. Kind of emo about it.
I know. It's gonna be so exciting. I need to work on that. Yeah, dude. Okay, we're gonna talk about My Hero Academia now. Like, and how this is a good like representation of just these very similar, I think you guys can pick up on it, very similar themes throughout our education system, you know? So different structures, but they're very similar, like overall messages, kind of. Just different ways of doing it.
Succeeding. Everyone needs to
Yeah, I guess.
succeed.
So one, My Hero, I need to catch up on it so bad. I need to catch up so bad. Because the last season's coming up this year.
Emo.
I know, I'm so emo about it. Okay. Anyway, but we all know if we've watched My Hero Academia, there's the UA entrance exam. Because UA is like the most prestigious, not superhero, just hero institute of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of the big heroes are alumni of UA. So think All Might, um, what's what's his name?
Eraserhead.
Todoroki's dad.
Todoroki. Oh, bitch.
He is a little bitch
Little
boy.
bitch. Little bitch boy.
Vernon? No,
Did you say Vernon?
Endeavor.
Oh.
Endeavor. Anyway, just think like those people. They all are
Top
UA
heroes
alumni.
went to UA.
Yeah. But admission, like, you can have a really cool quirk, but admission is based on like that really crazy dude. One of the best arcs in My Hero Academia, the entrance exam arc.
So good.
So good. So you have to do that. You literally have to do it in a battle arena at one point where students, like, you have to perform under extreme stress. Like they have to fight each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they have to like fight
dude,
robots and show off like
but
their
then you
hero
fought each
skills.
other.
But then they fight each other because you're showing off like quirks, I think.
Exactly.
Giving Gladiator.
Giving Gladiator. And then yeah, I was looking at these notes, but I'm like looking at, oh yeah, and then there's like the recommendation track too for the entrance exam. Or no, they're already in without the entrance exam, I think, but they still compete. I don't. It's been a long time since I watched the beginning of My Hero Academia, but
they had to take like sit down written exam too, I think, right?
I think that was it, and so I think Todoroki like got to bypass that exam because of the recommendation like line, and because he's Endeavor's son. Nepotism.
Nepotism is big in this anime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you have to have like specific traits or like good in certain things to pass like a portion of this exam for you to go through, it's kind of like ride or die situation. Like you have to be born with this to go to this school. But then like for us, like some people are like, I understand that learning like that's a nurture not nature thing, but like to me, like I'm like some people are just like born really smart. Like IQ crazy. Like I wish I was able to memorize certain things, or that I had the ability to like remember whatever I needed to remember, and then like what is it, photogenic memory, and then I can just like ace these exams. Couldn't be me. Some people are just so smart at certain things, and I'm just like, I get jealous of people, and I'm just like, I wish I was you. And that's probably a lot of people in My Hero. They're like, I wish I had your quirk, or I wish I was able to use my quirk in the way that you use your quirk.
And then imagine how like I don't know, it's crazy.
There's a lot of like validation through their quirk.
And then there's the class A and class B too, and class B is like kind of regarded as inferior.
It's like classism, except like quirkism.
Quirkism. Yeah, so that's a good example. And then do you want to talk about Kaguya-sama? Kaguya-sama is another good one. I don't think like it's based in a school. It's been a minute since I watched it again. Kaguya-sama is so good. But a lot of like the major themes is that they hide they're in a really good school, and so they hide their um vulnerability, like their vulnerable side, anything that may make them seem quote unquote weak, um beneath like academic perfection. So they're always perfect within school, they're always perfect within their grades, they're so smart, they're president and vice president. Um but underneath all of that, there's like so many things that they struggle with. Um
Burnout is so real. Like, I wish the system and like both like Japanese and like American school systems, or like just school systems anywhere, that they at least let a little bit of like breathing room, or gave more like what's it called, I don't know, just more understanding of like everyone's at different like parts or like understandings and points in their academic journey, or like where they're feeling right now. Like, give me a break, or like, at least don't like crucify me because I didn't turn in this assignment, and then this ruins my chance to get into school or whatever. Like, and sometimes I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. It's like one paper. Like,
exactly.
I'm trying so hard. I have 8 other classes to do work for. Like, let me live. Like, for me, like in high school, we had 8 class periods. So that's me taking 8 classes. Hello? 8 different classes?
Yeah, I think I took 7.
Like, I know some people took like, well, I forget what that system's called, where you're only taking 4 and then it changes the next semester. Like, block periods?
Yeah, I had experience with both of those. So from freshman through sophomore year, or maybe junior year. No, freshman to sophomore year, I think. I definitely had it senior year, but freshman to sophomore year, I had like the 7 class periods. I had 7 class periods, not 8. I had 7, and then they changed it in the middle of it to have 4 class periods, but we would change day by day.
Like, ours was always
like block period.
I didn't mind the 8 periods because like 4 of them were electives. But like from the electives, I'm working in 2 of them because I was a student assistant in like 2 of the choir classes. And then the other one's mastery. So it's like I have to still work hard in that because I'm at a different standard compared to other people. So like, and we're performing and like we're touring. So it's like it's giving pitch perfect, like I gotta be perfect. Like but like the other ones, like AP class, they're all AP classes or honors classes because we didn't have AP physics or whatever. I hated that class. Our coach,
AP physics was crazy.
Our coach, he'd write the equation on the board and he's like, this is how the American education system goes. He's like, he would put the equation on the board and be like, I'm not gonna teach you just yet how to do it. Figure it out.
Because I have to learn myself.
A few moments later.
Yeah. Thanks for staying till the end. No. Thanks for staying till the end of this episode. It's gonna be a 2-fer, guys. It's just gonna have to be. We love yapping. Yeah. So hopefully you guys are interested in the rest of this. And then we'll get back to, I don't know, maybe a silly, goofy episode after this. Yeah. So.
Oh, I miss filming so much. This is so fun.
We're back. Better than ever?
Fun. I would argue so.
I would argue better than ever.
Yeah.
Than ever.
I don't know if I'm better than ever, but I'm definitely better than I have been within the past year.
And that's real. We're just being real, guys, okay? So.
Yeah, like financially still kind of stressed out, but like personally and like that kind of like life stress, like I'm doing way better than I was doing last year.
I want to put my Atlanta United sticker on my.
But yeah, it'll look so cute.
Well, we'll see y'all soon.
Okay, follow us on our socials. It'll pop up.
That's linked
at the end, and they're linked in the bio. Follow us there.
I'm locked in.
I need to post. Oh, I did the hearts finally.